Last night's investigation with Claire took the entire team by surprise. The EVP of the child saying he's here, referring to the doctor, was crystal clear, and the voices captured during the investigation seemed to validate everything we were experiencing. Tonight, we will each spend time investigating an area completely on our own. But first, we need to find out more about what others have experienced, and I share my first paranormal encounter here at Bodmin Jail.
That whole atmosphere that was in here, that whole anxiety, that whole it was really heavy.
So I tried to walk out again, and it was literally like it punched me in my chest to keep me in the room.
Feeling very, very jumpy.
And I felt these fingers go all the way up the back of my head and grab my hair.
This lady's voice just felt like behind me, and she was going, "No!" and shouted in my ear.
And there was a noise like a footstep, a real...
Man, I'm feeling really uncomfortable all of a sudden.
Okay, because I could hear something coming up towards me, and I'm feeling a little bit uneasy now, because it seems to have got extremely dark in here.
Oh my good Lord. It made me jump. I've been to Bodmin Jail a few times, and on a previous investigation, I had possibly my most terrifying experience in 12 years of investigating the paranormal. I was here with Richard Estep, who's a known paranormal author, and we came over to Bodmin Jail to do some research for a book that he was writing. During the investigation, we were in the basement of Bodmin Jail, where some of the condemned cells were. Unfortunately, that area is now off limits. We were standing outside one of the condemned cells, and I was live listening to EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. So I had the headphones plugged directly into the recorder. A few minutes into the EVP session, I felt the headphones kind of shift on my head, and I went to readjust them, and I felt these fingers go all the way up the back of my head and grab my hair. The only way to describe it was, I call him sausage fingers. It's kind of the nickname that I've given the spirit. But it was just a really intense moment to be able to feel that physically so clearly, and to have it grab the back of my hair, and later on to find out from Kirsten that so many other people have experienced this in that particular area. This spirit is apparently a really aggressive, very large set male, and he has been accused of doing some not so wonderful things to ladies. Several women have also been grabbed in very inappropriate places in that area. So I think I got off quite lightly with my experience, even though it was super terrifying. One of the strange things about Bodmin Jail is the fact that each area feels completely different. Each space has such a different energy, and it really affects your mood. So on the investigation with Richard Estep in the past, most of the team experienced feelings of anger, sadness, depression, anxiety, and I'm worried about the team experiencing all of this over the next few days.
Aaron Lockley is a paranormal investigator who had his own terrifying experience with this aggressive male spirit in one of the cells.
The first time I came to Bodmin Jail, it was August time. I walked in, we walked around for a bit. I then ventured off on my own, as I normally do. I walked into a cell, and I was being a bit nosy, just having a look around, and then I felt this. It was an unwanted presence, let's put it that way. It didn't want me in there, so I wanted to get out myself. But I thought, you know what, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and I'll stay in and I'll carry on examining the cell. But the feeling got really, really strong. So I tried to exit the cell myself, and it was like it didn't want me to leave. So it it felt like a push on my chest, which took me back a bit because I'm not really used to things at that time like contacting me. So I freaked out a little bit. I took a time to breathe. I just relaxed and I just breathed. Shortly after, a couple walked in, and the energy of the room completely depleted. There was nothing in there whatsoever. It was like walking into a living room. There was no energy whatsoever. And I was like, oh, it's gone now. It's seen somebody come in. It's gone. The second this couple turned around and walked out the door, it was really aggressive towards me. And I was like, it doesn't matter what it wants or what it needs from me, I'm getting out of here. So I tried to walk out again, and it was literally like it punched me in my chest to keep me in the room. And I just was like, no, you're not keeping me in here. I don't like the energy, the presence that you're giving me. And I walked out, and that same feeling carried with me up until I left and exited Bodmin jail itself until I went out onto the road. And when I left through the main gates, that's when the energy dropped, and it felt like I could breathe again. And I was like, I could breathe. When I walked into that room and I had that overwhelming presence of it was like hatred, unwantedness, loneliness, it felt weird because I was like, well, I walked in here and I was absolutely fine. So why do I feel like this? It was confusion more than scared. But then the second half of that experience, it was more like, I need to get out of here. It scared me. It wasn't nice. It wasn't a nice feeling at all. I'm going to keep exploring and experimenting with the paranormal and getting my own evidence with investigators and exploring it more and more. I wouldn't change what I know and what I've learned over the last, say, 4 or 5 years of getting into it properly. I wouldn't change it at all. Don't go in there believing that there's nothing in here. Don't go in actively trying to find something. If it's going to happen, it will happen, because there'll be a lot of people that have been here that have experienced it. So just come in with an open mind and just give it a chance. And if you do see something, then come back and experience more. It was my first time here as well. The experience wasn't the best, but it didn't stop me coming back, to be honest. It just made me want to come back and see more. This building will 100% show you what it's got. Say 20 minutes of me arriving here today for this interview, because I'm a photographer, I was looking for photo shots, and I was looking at the gates, and I looked up. As I looked up, something walked past the window, and I asked Kirsten if anybody can get up there or if anybody's up there, and she said no.
Hannah Stevens has visited Bodmin Jail on numerous occasions over the last 4 years, both during the day and for their after dark tours. We caught up with her to find out exactly what she has experienced.
So the first time I came to the jail was about 4 years ago, I'd say, and I came for the day just to see what the jail was like. I've never been. The turning point into believing into paranormal was coming to Bodmin Jail again, and we were in one of the rooms, and I felt something on my back, like someone scraping their hand down my back and feeling my back. And I thought maybe it was one of the group. And I asked Kirsten, I asked the rest of the group, and there was no one touched my back. And I thought, At the time I was still very hesitant about it. I was starting to believe then, and more and more happened. So when I saw the apparition, I was by the hanging pit. Kirsten was talking about the hangings, and she was talking about one of the men that was hanged at this jail. I just looked up at the window at the jail outside, and I saw a lady all dressed in black, blonde hair, and she was just looking down at us. She looked sad. I don't know whether it was her relation, but she looked very sad. That when Kirsten was saying about this man that was been hanged, she looked like she'd been crying. The experience in the naval wing, I was sat on the floor in one of the jail cells, and I was singing Ring a Ring of Roses, and I felt this child's hand on my hand. I got to the end of the song, and then this lady's voice just came, felt like behind me, and she was going, "No!" and shouted in my ear. I wouldn't say scary, but I knew I had to stop. I was shocked, but proud that I experienced something like that. My impression of Bodmin Jail is just fantastic, amazing, and incredible building. So the way Bodmin Jail is adapted for wheelchair users, it makes me feel proud that the jail and the staff have adapted the jail so other people in wheelchairs can come and enjoy the paranormal evenings and the cinema nights, but also experience the jail during the day.
Last night we investigated with Claire Hinks, a psychic medium. Claire is a really good friend of mine. I've known her for years, and I know that she has never done trance mediumship. So for her to experience that in the naval wing, and she literally went limp so quickly, she just was out of it. And it actually scared me knowing that she's never experienced that and didn't quite know what to do with it, and I didn't quite know what to do. So the best thing was to remove her from that area, and I thought that perhaps it would calm it down a little. But when we carried on with the investigation and we headed to the old hospital, it happened once again, although somebody started speaking through her and saying the name May, giving us a date, and then coughing sort of like a male cough. It kept sort of changing between male and female. What was interesting was the fact that we documented a high EMF at the time, and we also took loads of different angles of camera and that sort of thing. So to listen to EVPs that were captured at the time and everything else that was going on was interesting. I've never seen that myself in that way, so I found it really intriguing. Tonight we have lone vigils. To say that I'm a little worried is an understatement. I have the joy of spending time alone in the execution pit area. This place is known for shadow figures, for EVPs. I really want to hear their story, and not so much, everyone concentrates on what the prisoners went through, but what about the mental health and the emotions of the executioners? Did they worry about their job? Did it get to them and make them feel awful, or did they enjoy it? Apparently there's a sinister side to it as well. I want to uncover that tonight.
Last night's investigation with Claire was really interesting. The evidence that we were picking up from an audible point of view, I can't explain. We were hearing things in the room with us, but reviewing it back, where we thought it was Carl making a coughing sound, we could see on the footage it wasn't Carl at all. So I'm really interested to go through all that footage and seeing where we thought we heard something, whether it was on another camera or something else. Tonight's investigation is the Lone Vigil, where I'll be spending my time in the Beast of Bodmin exhibit and the officers' admin rooms. I'll be using the spirit box to see what I can capture, as well as REM pods to see if there are people moving between the rooms.
I can honestly say that I have never seen anybody do trance mediumship in person until Claire did last night. It blew my mind. During tonight's Lone Vigil, I'm going to keep my promise to the people in the naval unit, and I'm going to try and get some more photos of them. I also want to see if I can get some more EVPs in the naval unit as well, because I feel like I was getting pretty lengthy responses, but unfortunately they weren't very clear. So I just want to see if I can communicate with them a bit more.
Last night's investigation with Claire Hinks, the psychic medium, I was worried. I was deeply worried about the events that were unfolding in front of my eyes. I'd never witnessed anything like that. I've never seen that type of mediumship before. And I was just concerned all the way through. And then to see her do it again in the hospital wing, And when we were doing that and getting that EMF spike of 20 milligauss and her then dropping away again into what seemed like an unconscious state, I was concerned and horrified. It's not an experience I'd like to see or witness again. Tonight's investigation, it's the lone vigil night. I'm very, very apprehensive due to the events that happened the previous night with Claire. I'll be spending my time alone in the courtroom, which used to be the old hospital area of Bodmin Jail. And the activity that I witnessed over the last couple of nights here, I'm concerned what I'm going to see. But I'm going to be using the SLS camera. I'm also going to be setting out a structure of REM pods and millimeters. And I'm going to be asking out questions just to see if I can capture and document anything that happens. So wish me luck.
Carl is first up for his lone vigil. While he investigates the courtroom area, myself, Alex, and Corin will place static cameras in other parts of the jail and also investigate the naval wing.
Well guys, lone vigil night. We're all set. We're going to leave you in the courtroom / what used to be the hospital car.
Yeah, I'm going to get myself set up, and if you hear me scream, please come running.
Come running. Cool.
Good luck.
No worries.
Yes, good luck. And I'm going to face it down this way towards the staircase. Let's just leave this over here. Let's get this set up. Do you mind holding that for a sec?
Yes, of course.
Because that is the doorway where they see shadows walk past. So that would be...
Brilliant.
I wonder how Carl's going to get on. Because this place in the dark is a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yes. And after
creepy
what happened
as hell.
before,
Well, here's the thing, I mean...
because I think Carl's quite sensitive.
Carl is pretty sensitive. Well, that's exactly why I wanted to put Carl in the sort of the old hospital bit, because we have that EVP of that child's voice saying, he's here.
Yeah.
And then you also have that like playful, childlike energy the whole time in that area. So I figured, you know, at least it's something that's not... Yeah, there's the doctor there. I wouldn't want to be alone with that doctor.
Nope.
But at the end of the day, I've got to deal with the executioners, so, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place for Carl. The naval wing's going to be great for you because all the activities surrounded around women. And the offices, the warder's office, the admin area, and the Beast of Bodmin exhibit area that we've just walked through, that is predominantly like a male space. So I feel like you would get better interaction because if you put one of us in there, all you're going to get is get out, get out, get out. Women aren't allowed in there.
Yeah.
You're not going to get like a back and forth. Whereas I feel like you would be able to get more interaction. Because the silent rule was enforced in that area. So prisoners and things were never allowed to talk in that area or make noise.
With our static cameras set up in place, it was time for us to start our investigation.
So what I'm actually going to be doing, I'm going to be setting up some bits of equipment. I'm going to be setting up an SLS, a structured light sensor camera, which is going to be focusing onto a REM pod. And a REM pod basically puts out its own magnetic field. And if anything breaks it, it will go off. So I've got the SLS pointing at the REM pod. In front of the REM pod, I'm going to have a motion sensor. So if anything walks up to me, I'll be able to see it. And then in each four corners of the room, I'm going to also position another REM pod. To say I'm a little bit apprehensive after what's been going on in here is quite an understatement, but I'm going to be all right. So I know that if anything goes on, I've got enough cameras and angles to hopefully document it. So, hi, my name's Carl. I'm here to try and document what's been going on in this jail. Is the doctor here? Could you come and see me, please? Okay, we've got the REM pod just going off now. That's great. If you could just come a bit closer and do that again for me. The atmosphere in the room's changed a bit. It looks like, it feels like I've got eyes on me all the time. Just going to show you the room. They're mannequins that are in there in the courtroom setup. And you've got some more over there, so you can see where the bits of equipment are. I'm completely alone, so as you can see. I must admit, it's not the most pleasant atmospheres that I've got. It's kind of feeling a little bit heavy, and I've literally only just started. Could you do it again for me? There's several devices around this room. They've got a little red light on them. If you go and stand close to them, they'll make a noise for you. Okay, I don't know whether the camera, I'm hoping the camera picked that up, but there was a loud thud. Sounded like either a footstep or a thud.
So we're just checking out the courtroom CCTV, keeping an eye on Carl, doing his lone vigil. He looks all right. Wonder if anything's happened.
I can hear footsteps. Is that you coming to see me? Feeling very, very jumpy.
Can't really tell if any of the REM pods are going off, can you?
No, not really.
Yeah, this is very uneasy. It's I don't know what it is. This room has taken on a different type of vibe, different type of feeling.
Okay, let's go head down to another part, and we'll just sit there really quietly.
Yeah, sounds good.
He's got about a good half an hour left, so we'll go sit in that part and see if we can pick anything up ourselves.
I can't explain what I'm feeling right now.
I'm just gonna radio Carl to tell him that we're gonna come past down a staircase, that he might hear us walking past.
I'm gonna see if he jumps.
Any prisoners here?
Carl, not if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can.
We're gonna come past the staircase in a second, so you'll hear us walk down. Okie dokie. See you now.
It's uneasy in here at the moment.
Yeah, it does have a really creepy feeling in here, to be fair.
And there was a noise like a footstep, a real.
Oh wow.
behind
Okay.
me.
Oh.
And then there was some footsteps in there.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Let's get a recorder, and
Yeah, and then
we'll take it from there.
I'll crack on again.
You all good?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna head down that way through the building, and we'll do some EVP. Call on the radios if you need us.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You'll probably hear me scream if need be.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's try some questions. We'll go one each.
Yeah.
Rolling on the recorder. End of the naval wing. Are you male or female?
Can you tell me your name?
Am I going to be safe in here on my own?
What was that?
What?
Did you see? You saw that?
What was that?
Turn your torch on. So currently you see where the green
Where the emergency light
light
is.
is going on the floor.
Yes.
It's almost like someone waved.
Oh.
So on
It
the
was-
floor you saw
So-
a shadow.
It was like
I
someone.
can't really see it in IR.
It was like someone did this.
But up at
But it
But
was
like,
Oh.
I'm so glad you saw that. That was amazing. I'm so glad somebody else saw that.
Could the shadow figure that Alex and I have just seen standing in front of this doorway be the same gatekeeper that Kirsten was talking about during our walkthrough?
We have a young lad that stands there, about 17 years old. He's almost guarding the door. It's his responsibility to check who comes in and make sure, he's a gatekeeper. He makes sure that the gate is locked.
Right, just to let you know, I don't know what's going on, but my camera just will not focus now. Got an EVP recorder over there. We've still got the REM pod, the EDI, and the REM pods around the room. So I'm going to try an EVP. This is Carl Hutchinson in the hospital/courtroom. Lone vigil. Is the doctor here? I don't know what's going on. I'm getting jumpy now, and I don't kind of like it. So I'm going to crack on again. Have you got a message for us? Do you like me in your space? How many spirits are in this room with me now? Are you the one that's causing me to feel anxious and disorientated? I don't know what's going on. I'm just completely and utterly... I'm like, oh, I can't concentrate for more than a few seconds. Okay. Oh, that's somebody walking now.
Recording in the naval wing, putting the recorder on the floor.
Oh, to MJ.
On my way. What's up?
Any of you guys anywhere near the corridor towards the naval in towards where I am?
No, we're at the far end of the naval wing, but we've just seen a black shadow down here.
Okay, because I could hear something coming up towards me, and I'm feeling a little bit uneasy now, because it seems to have got extremely dark in here.
This place just turns, doesn't it? All of a sudden, just turns.
It's just crazy, this room in here.
You alright?
No.
What's going on?
No, my head. It sounded like somebody was coming up that, like coming quick. That's what then there's noises in there. The camera's gone out of focus again. My head is splitting to the point where I feel like somebody got it in a vice.
So we were down the far end of the naval wing, and both myself and Alex saw a shadow.
Where about?
Right at the end, like right underneath. It was the fire exit light at the far end door.
What,
we
that
actually,
end?
yeah, that end.
Right, okay.
We saw a shadow move past there, and both of us saw it and turned at the exact same time. It's just been a little weird.
I was rubbing my eyes. I put my glasses back on, and I could see clearly, about a foot away from me, a big outline of a man.
Oh shit!
Right there, literally there.
All right, let's get you out of here. Let's take 5, guys.
My legs are gone.
That was me.
I know. I keep thinking I can hear music, but I'm not sure if it's like the white noise, like...
As Corin and I decide to gather the static cameras and change the batteries, I literally got the fright of my life.
I just about pooped myself is what's wrong. The plague doctor, as I walked past, I shone my flashlight on him. It was bound to happen.
Carl is feeling really shaken up after hearing footsteps rush towards him. As he takes a break in the upstairs base room, Alex and I will help set Corin up for her lone vigil before we head to the courtroom, to see if we can explain some of the things that Carl was experiencing.
Where do you want to go?
Kind of wanted to get some photos of like in the cells.
Okay.
So kind of do what I did yesterday, because obviously I made a promise that I would take more photos. So on this one, I've actually isolated a certain frequency, a certain IR frequency. So if something's on that spectrum, we should be able to see it clearer.
Okay.
So I'm just experimenting with different frequencies.
Okay, cool.
So we got from 750 nanometers and above on that one.
Okay, cool. Have you got your recorder?
Yes, the recorder is there. And yeah, I'm ready to do a photo shoot for the people here.
Have fun.
So shall I take a photo of you down there? Can you light that up again? Okay, so what you'll see is a very quick flash, and that means your photo has been taken. 3, 2, 1. Could you knock in your cell? If you want your portrait taken, make a noise and I'll come over to that area.
My legs have just gone ice cold. Like, more this side, it's like ice cold. Hi. That was the REM going off. Could you go near that again, please? Man, I'm feeling really uncomfortable all of a sudden. So, you know, we keep getting this like wave of uncomfortable feeling in here every now and again. Yeah. What if, because there are fans and things above us, right? There's like an air circulatory system in here. So what if it is just every now and again it's pumping out either some infrasound or some high level EMF?
It could be.
Because it's only like a wave every so often. But what I just realized was the fact that the moment I felt uncomfortable is the moment I heard that fan kick in.
Yeah.
So it could just be adding to whatever's going on here.
I'm going to do some EVPs. When we were here before, it seemed that I was getting full sentences from you when I asked questions such as, what do you think of the governor? Which is obviously an understandable answer. Could you try and repeat your answer for me? What do you think of the governor? If you had a message for your family, what would you say? What is your message? It seemed that I was getting full sentences from you when I asked questions such as, what do you think of the governor? Which is obviously an understandable answer. Could you try and repeat your answer for me? What do you think of the governor? What is your message? So you can hear banging, but I believe that is just outside because it's so windy.
So I'm not convinced that everything that people experience in this space is paranormal. I think there is more of a scientific explanation with higher levels of EMF or infrasound that's affecting people.
So I'm going to check the images because they should have developed by now. Let's have a look. Well, they're incredibly dark. I don't appear to have caught anything. I'm going to take some photos of the stairs. If you stand in front of the stairs, maybe I can capture you there. Again, I'm going to take 3 photos. Focus, please. Really seemed to struggle to focus then.
Oh. That sounds like a female voice, like, yeah? Yeah?
This female voice is the only EVP that we captured during our entire time in the courtroom.
I wonder how Corin's doing.
So I'm actually going to take one from here, but I'm going to take one quite low down. 3, 2, 1, say cheese. Okay, and if you could shout cheese really loud at the top of your voice for this one, that would be really helpful. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's listen to these. 3, 2, 1, say cheese.
Unfortunately, Corin was unable to capture any EVPs, and there were no strange anomalies in any of the photographs.
If you're still here, please let us know. Could you go up to either of the red lights? Go near the antenna. Okay, again, I've got like an ice cold breeze going past my legs again. Literally just right through here, and it's only on the one leg. The last time that happened, the REM pod went off. Again, I've just got this really uncomfortable feeling, like a wave wash over me. Or maybe just radio her. Hopefully she doesn't literally poop herself. All right, so I am gonna set the REM pod off as soon as I hit this button, because the two-way radios will affect them. Corin, sorry if I scared you. Are you okay, Corin?
Yes, it's just quite flat, to be honest.
It's really flat in here. That's me.
There you go.
We're gonna head over to you now. Indeed it is. We're gonna set you up for your lone vigil.
Okay.
Chuck you in the admin room.
Yep.
Cool. That whole atmosphere that was in here, that whole like anxiety, that whole like, it was really heavy, and it was like a wave, and then it went flat, and then there was another wave, and now it's like quite comfortable here, really. It's absolutely nothing. All right, cool. Let's head over to Corin.
As we're about to leave the courtroom, we have a sudden burst of activity on the REM pod. Could this be somebody trying to get our attention to stay? After checking around for more activity, everything went flat, and we decided to head over to Corin.
So many different lights going on there.
It's just very flat.
Rigged, man. You have everything going on here.
No, that's not recording automatically. But
That's all right.
Took some photos in there, took some of the stairs, which is super dark. Some over there, nothing. Nothing on EVP.
We had a couple of interesting moments where it was almost like a wave of just tension and anxiety, and everything is like, oh God, something's here. Like something's, you felt your whole body just tingled and like, ooh, something's here. But then it would just disappear. Strange how it turns on a dime.
Literally.
Okay, well, let's change batteries, guys.
Okay. Oh. I thought that wind was just going to get worse and worse and worse then.
How strong was that wind? That is so creepy.
Okay, so we are now going to head to the base area and let you set up for your loan.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Fine. Happy. It's going to be fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you. So I'm currently standing in like the officers area. I've got a couple of REM pods on the table in front of me, so I'm going to go and take them and put them down. Yeah. So I'm not really getting anything through the spirit box. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm also going to take a wander down to the officers, so down to the other end of this section, and see if there's anything there that we can capture.
With Alex set up for his loan in the admin block, myself, Corin, and Carl head to the upstairs base room to investigate.
You have been watching us in this space, using this as a base, the whole time we've been here. And we know that you're here. We'd like to know who you are. This particular silver recorder, could you come and talk to us using this, please? I'm going to put it down here, right in front of us. Come have a chat. Okay, I'm going to hit record.
Could you tell us your name, please?
It is a lot colder. Just walking down into this area, you can tell the temperature has dropped a bit in here. So I've got a REM pod on the floor here. So if there's any officers that would like to come and join me, come and sit with me. It's been a long day. I wonder how many hours you spend working here. Like, is it a 24-hour shift? It's very, very... I wouldn't say quiet because you got the ticking of the clock in the corner.
Is this your area? Are we allowed in this?
Is the REM going off? Could you take a step back from that, please? Do you mind taking a step back? Are you using Morse code? Is that easier for you to use to communicate with us? Just make the green light flash, please, by touching that antenna.
During our burst EVP sessions in the upstairs base area, we were unable to document any EVPs. It seemed like whoever was there found it easier to use the REM pod to communicate.
Should we have a go at the processor? Let's see if we can get one to come through on there. Have we got any officers in this room that wish to communicate with us? Maybe you could tell me some of the stories about what happened in this room.
How about this? We're going to hit record and we're going to walk to the other end of the room and we're going to leave this here for you until it stops recording and then we'll come and play it back. So you feel free to say whatever you want, okay? There you go. It's recording for the recorder. This is us walking away. We're just going to stand on this side.
Like the REM pod on the floor there. So if you want to come through, you can. This either. I'm gonna. Hello? Shouldn't say hello. Can you make that knocking sound again? Let's turn this off. To be fair, it's been a really calm day. Like, the past couple of days that we've been here, we've had like rain every night. It's windy, but yeah, it is a really, really calm night.
Let's see if we got anything on there.
After trying multiple EVP sessions, we documented no additional voices. The activity seemed to quieten down. It was time for us to check if Alex was okay.
You feel free to tell us anything you want about yourself, or about this building, or about the history, or perhaps about Kirsten and how you enjoy having her here. We're going to go stand on that side again, and, well, we'll take a seat and leave it for a few minutes. Feel free to talk, anyone at all, anyone that has anything to say, we'd love to listen. Do you see us as shadow figures? How do you see us? What do we look like to you? We need to go and get Alex.
Yes.
All right, let's radio him. He is going to proper poop himself now.
Yeah.
Alex, come in.
Hello.
We're coming to get you.
Don't say it like that, please.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, he sounds really nervous, mate.
Don't say it like that, please.
Don't say it like that, please.
So, I'm about to leave this room. Is there anything anyone would like to say to me before I go?
You okay? Oh, you're right there.
Nothing at all.
Dead.
Dead?
Dead.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Ah. It's already 3:10, and I have to do my lone vigil.
Yes.
So, I'm going to go get set up for my lone.
Hold that headset now. I have so many layers on.
Yeah, it's actually.
It's warmer than it was. It definitely is warmer than it was.
I'm glad it's not torrential.
This is my spot.
How do you feel about it right now? How do you feel about it?
I'm a little excited to come and have a chat with them because I really want to get more of a story, and I'm hoping that I do. I mean, this place, the emotion of it hits you really hard. I mean, we've walked past here so many times, and it's kind of, look, execution pit, and take a funny selfie with the noose, but at the end of the day...
They could probably find that really offensive.
Exactly, so I'm a bit nervous. To be honest, the wind's quite sheltered back here. I thought I was going to be freezing. The wind's actually quite sheltered, so it's not going to disrupt the EVP all that much. I mean, I'm nervous to be in this space alone because of what's happened here, but I feel oddly calm. It's really, really windy, so I'm hoping that I can record some EVP. That's the REM going off. Can you take a step back away from that, please?
As I asked them to take a step back, these footsteps were captured on the camera's audio.
Oh man, that's going nuts. I've got a recorder here, okay? You can use this to talk to me. It's just me on my own here. I mean, no disrespect. Are you an executioner? Are you a prisoner? I'd like to speak to William or Selena. It sounds like footsteps. I just gotta roll on another recorder. Are you a prisoner?
Upon reviewing this EVP, I realized that it's a male voice saying, "I'm dead." What makes this really interesting is the fact that the spirit acknowledges that he is dead.
I'm your prisoner. I'd like to speak to William.
It sounds like footsteps again.
What is your favorite?
After numerous EVP sessions with no response, I decided to use the spirit box to see if we can capture any voices coming through the white noise.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this running here, okay?
Within a few minutes of conducting the spirit box session, the batteries on the APF processor suddenly drained.
Pod closer onto the pit. That's all you need to... Whoa. Oh my good lord. It made me jump.
The voice coming through the spirit box said "battery dead," signaling that the APF processor had battery drain.
Man, that really made me jump. Oh my god, my recorder batteries are dead as well. That's 2 recorders, completely flat, and the APF processor. It actually says low battery. Look at this. Oh my god.
Battery drain is quite common on a paranormal investigation. It is said that the spirits will draw the energy from any of your equipment in order to manifest.
Batteries are dead. Right. Hi. Thank you so much for using that. It's the REM going off, guys. That recorder's dead. That's dead. Let's try this spirit box.
With no further responses coming through the spirit box, I decide to call it a night.
There's nothing really going on. This is a lot calmer than I thought. The pit makes me very nervous. But other than every single one of my batteries draining, there's not really much going on besides a bit of REM activity and something on one of the recordings, but I'll have to listen back to it and see if there's anything there. So I think I'm gonna get hold of the team and call it a night. Guys, come in. pretty quiet, to be honest. The biggest thing that made me jump was the APF processor died and it went, battery dead, but it said it really loud and I just about jumped into the pit because I was busy moving the REM pod right by the pit when it happened. So that was probably like the most exciting thing. I got a couple things on EVP. I need to kind of check what they are. But yeah, it's like getting light out there, so we need to pack up.
Our lone vigils were a lot quieter than we expected. Things seemed to happen more when we were together. Perhaps the spirits draw on the energy of a group in order to communicate. Perhaps this would explain all the battery drain during my lone vigil. After we had packed up our equipment for the night, I made a shocking discovery. I had parked my car right outside the execution pit area, and when it came time to leave, I realized that my brand new car battery was completely dead. Something, or someone, had not only drained all of my equipment, but my car battery too. The following morning, I called roadside assistance to see if they could find any reason for the battery drain. There was no logical explanation at all. Tomorrow night we'll be investigating with Kirsten to see if having her present makes any difference in the activity at all.